I'm Dr. Joan Nelson, and on this channel I talk about my research, which focuses on the experiences of working parents with a specific focus on working mums. And I talk about how the current construct of work, 9 to 5, is problematic. It doesn't align with school. And what that means is that it's a real problem for working parents, but it's also a real issue for organisations as well. So one of the things I want to talk about today is the issue of organisations having meetings after school hours. So my proposition is the idea, it's called #work_school_hours, and my absolute proposition for society is that organisations should transition themselves to only work during school hours. But I'll leave that for now in the detail. What I do want to talk about though is organisations who perhaps aren't quite ready to fully transition towards working school hours, but what they can do anyway to sort of move along the spectrum a little bit. So even organisations that still, want to work the default, what they should do is start looking at the way that they schedule team meetings and make sure that they only ever schedule team meetings and co-working periods within the school framework. Because what happens is that when organisations schedule meetings for, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you've got staff in your organisation that leave before 3 o'clock to do school pickups, it puts those staff members in a real difficult position. It means that, first of all, they either have to ask their boss, oh, sorry, I'm going to have to miss that 4 p.m. meeting because, I've actually finished work at that point to pick up the kids. Or it's the opposite, they're then still trying to dial into that 4 p.m. meeting and they've got their kids in the background and, they don't feel like they're doing a great job as a parent. And so this idea of mum guilt or, parent guilt, and that they feel like they're not doing a great job for their paid work, they feel like they're not doing a great job as a parent, and they feel really stressed because they're trying to join this 4 p.m. meeting, which is just unnecessary stress. The other thing is it means that if those parents don't join the 4 p.m. meeting because they're like, well, no, I'm with the kids at the moment, the organisation also misses out as well. And this is twofold. So first of all, the individual does, in the sense that because they're not at that meeting, it means they don't get to contribute to that meeting. And it means they don't get noticed for all the great ideas that they have. So when it comes to things like promotions and bosses thinking about, who's going to get the next great assignment, that staff member who missed those 4 o'clock meetings may not be at the forefront in their boss's mind. And therefore, what often happens is they get overlooked. And the staff that were at those meetings are more likely to be considered for those promotions or those great assignments. So that's a real disadvantage for that staff member. But it's also really problematic for the organisation because it means that 4 p.m. meeting, the organisation misses out on that staff member's input. Now that staff member, you've employed them for a reason, right? They're obviously good at their job. And so you're going to miss out on their contribution. And that's a real problem for your team, for your organisation. And it also means that if you are not promoting this person and not having them top of mind, it means that eventually that staff member is probably going to become disgruntled. And so that's not great for organisational performance. It means you could potentially lose that person. And again, that's not a good thing for the organisation. So yeah, it's not good for the individual, but it also means that the organisation misses out on really great opportunities. So one of the things that I want to press is even that organisations that aren't quite ready to fully look at transitioning towards work school hours, just think about at the very least, how do you schedule your team meetings? Let's try and focus hard on only having team meetings and co-working periods within the school hours framework. And if you do that, it means you're really going to benefit because it means you're not going to have stressed staff who are trying to juggle both, child-related tasks and a meeting at 4 o'clock. And it means you're not then going to miss out on that staff member's contribution, which means it's going to be better for your organisation. So yeah, that's my proposition. If you're not quite ready for the full transition, please look at your team meetings and only schedule them within the school period. Thank you.